Hey, how's it going? I'm going to be starting a GregTech6 playthrough. I'm going to be doing it mostly focused on GregTech. I do have some other mods that are in here like Railcraft, Industrial Craft, Red Power, all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I'm going to be focusing on GregTech just because I want to sort of showcase what the mod can do, how to progress through it, because I know a lot of people kind of get stuck and then they either give up or they kind of just flounder about. There's not a lot of documentation, so it's understandable. It's not the most well documented. You just kind of have to go check the change logs for it or learn through trial and error, sort of like what I did. But I'll try to provide a bit of a guide, just showcase how it's done, how you normally do it. So I'm doing pretty much vanilla mods here, so to speak. There's no tweaks other than maybe like one recipe change that I did for Project Red, just so that you can get circuit plates because there was a bit of a recipe conflict. But I'll showcase that a little bit later on. And the only thing I'm going to be changing about my world is that I'm using the Realistic Terrain Gen world type, which is from the mod Realistic Terrain Generator. So let's get started on this. So right away, the first thing we're going to want to do when we get in is pick up sticks and pick up rocks off the ground. And let me get rid of some of these waypoints. These are from a different world. And get rid of those. Delete that. Delete that. There we go. Okay. Looks like I did not get a very good spawn here. Let's see. Hopefully this is not just an island. If it is, I'll go and make a boat and just go away. But right off the bat, you'll see there's rocks on the ground here in GregTech. These allow you to make some of the beginning tools. So instead of kind of making wooden tools from, punching trees how you would in normal Minecraft, you would pick up these rocks, and you'll get all sorts of different kinds of rocks depending on the mineral type that is underneath them in the world. So, if you get just regular rocks, if you dig down, they'll be just stone. If you get marble, if you dig down, you'll find marble blocks and stuff. Flint is just kind of a random interspersed thing in rocks. It doesn't really represent any sort of rock type. But it's definitely good to get flint because flint tools are quite good early on. It's your first knife material that you'll get access to for the most part, and knives are good for cutting grass. That'll allow you to get the actual item as something that you can craft with. You can make grass bales with that, and you can use that as food for animals, and you can also place the bales in the world and dry them out, and then you'll get dry grass, which you can use for fuel, and you can use that for fire starters as well, which you definitely want to be doing. Actually, I should be great picking some of this grass just normally to get seeds because you do want to get wheat up as soon as possible. More so for food than anything else. It's just an easy food. And if you are playing in a normal survival world like me, you probably want to get wool as soon as possible too, just so you can make a bed, or in my case there's a sleeping bag perhaps? Yes. So you can make that as well, and that will allow you to sleep at nighttime without resetting your spawn, which is definitely nice. But yeah, you want a bed first probably, so that's what I'll do as well. Yeah, it looks like I may have just gotten an island here. That's really unfortunate. Oh, let me showcase that a little recipe change that I did, just in case anyone's curious. It's just basically a recipe change to get the circuit plates from Project Red from the Et Futurum Smoothstone, because these were conflicting recipes before you would smelt just regular Minecraft stone, and you would have gotten this Et Futurum recipe, and this Project Red recipe would have been the same, so you would have smelted stone, and it was supposed to give you those Project Red plates, but the Et Futurum one took priority, so you were not able to actually get those items. So I just changed it so that you can get another smelting process there, and then you'll get the actual circuit plates, and I made it so you get double out of that just because, you're putting a little more fuel in, so you might as well get a little more out of it. I don't think it's a huge game changer. So here I'm making a knife, oops, and then I will also make an axe. GregTech axes have tree capitator on them, and they tree capitate from the top down actually, which is really nice. It means you don't have to worry about any garbage floaty nonsense. Here is a thing you want to pay attention to as well. This is a rutile bearing rock. So throughout the world you'll see there's different kinds of ore bearing rocks on the ground, sort of just interspersed with other rocks like the ones I got before. This one represents, instead of like a rock underneath the ground, it will represent actual ore distribution. So if I dug this down from where I picked it up, like here or here or whatever, you know, there's going to be a big chunk of rutile ore. And I have this mod called, what is it called? I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Prospector's Journal or something. I think it will, there we go, rutile 421. So it tells you all the distributions of ores from that specific vein. And then I think these also came from a different world. I'll just get rid of these. There, so only rutile. So yeah, this will show you like where they are. This gives you the XYZ coordinates. It tells you what is distributed in them, and then it also lets you put a little compass on your screen so you can go and find them. It's sort of just like a nice convenience thing. Why do these keep coming back? I don't know why. Get out of here. Hopefully that will... Oh, okay, whatever. Oh, what's going on? I don't know. It's a bit of a buggy mod, I think. What can you do? I'll get rid of these. So usually what I would have done is put a waypoint on it with Zero's minimap, but it kind of gets cluttered, so I prefer this mod, but it seems like it doesn't want to work with me here. I have no idea why it's doing that. Okay, well, for now, I'll just mark it as a waypoint. Rutile. And I will make it dark purple, sure. There we go. So yeah, like I was saying, the GregTech axes have tree capitator, definitely really nice to have really early on, and it makes it so that you don't have to worry about even breaking your axes because it'll go from the top down. So definitely recommend using GregTech axes specifically, and it means you don't have to install tree capitator as well. So that's definitely nice. Oh, he also makes it so that the leaves will decompose much faster, so you'll get all your saplings and all that. Oh, you see I just got all the wood there, and I'm about to get probably a lot of saplings from this if I were to wager. Let me see if I can zoom my map. Oh, maybe I only got one sapling. That's whatever. I mean, that's fine. I'll take it with me. I like those kinds of saplings. I generally prefer the 2x2 spruces. So there's pyrolusite there. I guess I'll mark this one as well. I'll have to take a look at why that's broken. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because I had waypoints for a different world and it didn't like that. Oh, small copper. Let's see if I can make a pickaxe. So yeah, you want to keep an eye out for these little small veins, especially copper and lead in the beginning. Those are your beginner ores, and they will allow you to make some of the beginning tools like a chisel, screwdriver, all sorts of stuff that you need to get your basic setup going. There we go. Oh, you know what? I'll take these coppers too. Some people might get rid of these if they're playing, but I will just keep them because, you know what, I don't really care. It's nice to have an easier source of copper in the beginning, and these are all very much compatible with GregTech. You can crush these, you'll get exactly what you need. You don't have to worry about it. There we go. That's rock salt, not too useful there. Actually, let me grab my crafting table. I got 2 wool, so actually, let me kill the sheep. That way I can at least make a bed. Sorry, sheep. Normally I keep the wild animals around because I prefer being able to get a farm going as soon as possible, but you know, what can you do? My survival is of the utmost importance. Oh, whoops. Oh, there's a beehive here. Let me take a note of that. I will mark that on the minimap as well. Infantry hive. Oh, whoops. I cannot use my keyboard today. Interesting. Wait, there we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking for clay as well. That's a material that you're going to be using for your crucible. Oh, I hear things under the ground. Sounds like a baby zombie or something just underneath my feet, actually. But yeah. Oh, actually, let me show you the grass collection process, as it were. So you'll end up wanting quite a lot of this in the beginning. It's, like I said, really good for fuel. It's really easy to collect. It doesn't even cost durability off the knife. The only durability that I took off this knife is the from when I hit the sheep. So it's definitely really good. There's essentially no downside except maybe cluttering your inventory with grass, but it's worth it. And also for the fire starters, like I said, that's another use for that grass. Oh, looks like this may actually connect to... Oh, no, it's properly an island, I think. Oh well. It might still be salvageable. We have sheep here. We don't have cows, which is not the best. I would prefer to have some cows if possible. Because leather is used to do some collection of certain materials like glue. But, you know, it's just nice to have a good source of meat as well, but it's not a huge deal because you can get baguettes pretty quickly. Baguettes, well, I mean, let's just look at steak for a second just to see what the values of that are. So that's steak, and if you take a look at a baguette, you'll see it's way better than a steak. It's also extremely easy to make. It just requires the ability to smash wheat against like a pestle or something like that, and then you can wash it in a little washing basin. Doesn't take very long, and it gives you, I would almost consider it broken food if I really cared about that system, but I don't, to be honest with you. I care about it enough in that I won't turn it off, but I don't care about it enough in that I really don't care about food diversity mods or anything, and I will certainly not ever play with Pam's Harvest Craft if I could help it, or any of those other mods. I think some of them are interesting. The ones that give like little potion effects might be a little interesting, but I think they also disincentivize the usage of potion effects at the same time, or of just actual potions, which is already a very underused system, so I don't agree with that necessarily. What can you do? Alright, sun's starting to go down. I will cut down a couple more trees just to... Oops. Oh, yeah, you can also use GregTech tools to like place associated items. So with axes, you'll place saplings, and with pickaxes, I think you'll place torches. Nice little quality of life feature. There's another hive there, but I don't really think I need to mark it because... I might as well mark it, actually. Doesn't really do any harm. This will probably break my axe, but you'll see it'll cut down from the top, so you don't have to worry about any of those things, like I said. I'll just have to make a new flint axe. Oh, actually, got really lucky, I guess. One thing to note about GregTech tools that I'll show you in 1 second after I plant this tree back down. Where did that go? There it is. Yeah, I'm an environmentalist. I'll plant the things that I took away. So what you'll notice about... Oh, hold on. Let me sleep, actually. So I'll show you in a second. What you'll notice about GregTech tools is that they have specific stats, more than you would expect on like a vanilla tool, for example. So actually, let me show you Flint. So there's the Q, the S, and the D, and what those stand for are quality, speed, and durability. So the quality is sort of like the mining level. The speed is self-explanatory. It's how fast you break stuff. The durability is also pretty self-explanatory, but it's a little more complicated in terms of the durability. So in GregTech tools will take the mining level of a certain thing. So like if you use a shovel that has like a high mining level rather, and you use it to break dirt, for example, it won't take as much durability as it would to say mine a harder material. I guess it's more so relevant for pickaxes than anything else. So you know, if you mine obsidian with a tool that can actually mine it, it'll take more durability than if you use that to mine, you know, it's just stone or something. So it's good to keep in mind. It's not hugely relevant most of the time, and you probably won't notice it, but it's definitely nice to be aware of it, I suppose. I'm really sad that this isn't working. I don't know why. Oh, huh, okay. Well, I don't know why these galena veins are like bugging me out. That's really obnoxious. I'll have to go in and see if I can take a look at that config. Alright, yeah, I guess I'll have to make a boat and go exploring. Looks like oh, an ocean temple. That's pretty nice. I think there's some stuff in there that have been backported, like the actual guardians and stuff are there. Ooh, big meteorite. Not super useful early in the game, but these are, you definitely want to keep your big meteors and your little meteor pieces that you find as well. They will be immensely useful for progression later on. Not mandatory for progression as far as I remember, but it's substantially easier if you manage to get like a decent amount of those. Okay, I think I'll just head in this direction because, I mean, I'll be by the... Actually, there's land there. Maybe I'll just go and explore that. Oh, let me make sure my other computer that I'm using to record just turned its screen off. Let me double check that that's actually still working. Okay, yeah, it's still fine. So yeah, let me make a boat. Oh yeah, you'll also notice, real quick, if you try to craft with wood, by default you'll get less than you would normally expect from, you know, like vanilla Minecraft. That's intentional. That's a GregTech thing. I think you can disable it if you don't like it. I prefer it. I guess it incentivizes you to use tools later on. I shouldn't say I prefer it. I think it's just interesting. But yeah, it's basically there to incentivize you to use like saws and then big machines like saw cutter, buzz saws rather, not saw cutters. So yeah, it fairly quickly, once you get access to like metalworking, you'll be able to make like a handsaw, and then you can actually get more wood out of your logs than you normally would, so you don't have to worry about that. Am I heading in the right direction? I am. I guess there actually is no land here. Interesting. It's a fairly shallow ocean too, I notice. And there's a little bumblebee hive. And I think I forgot to mark that other wintry hive, but it's not a huge deal because I marked a bunch of stuff around it, and there's no sense in cluttering that. What is this? Oh, I think there is some lag, maybe. Alright. Or maybe my boat has just decided to disappear? What is going on? I think I'm getting terrain generation lag. This happens sometimes. I think realistic terrain generation mod does a number on... Oh my god, what is going on here? I mean, this is nice to be able to see the rock strata of the world at least. Let me do a little relog here. There we go. Oh, I see. It was probably trying to generate like an AE2 meteor or something. Let me not drown. It's definitely cool that there's an AE2 meteor here. I'll try to mark this really quick. Oh, I forgot to actually pause it so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I don't know specifically what mod it causes so much world gen lag. I think I have a bunch of like settings on to even like enable smooth generation of the world, like to make it more, I don't know, make it more efficient on resources, but you know, what can you do? It happens sometimes. I'm not super stressed out about it. This looks like almost the same place that I came from, but it's just a bit of a different shape, I guess. Might get very unlucky and just get shitty spawns or shitty, I guess, world generation. I mean, it's definitely different from what I usually get when I play with this mod. Usually with realistic terrain generation, I will get like vast plains that like never end. So this is definitely interesting, I suppose. But this is also, I guess, quite repetitive in its own way. I'm definitely noticing that I have... Oh, actually, I have cooked mutton. I don't know what I'm doing. You need to be somewhat careful in GregTech when you eat certain foods. Yeah, like things that would be considered, what do you call it, protein. They will cause you to get a heart attack if you eat too much of them at one time. Definitely don't want that to happen, so I will be cautious about this. Also, let me compress some of my grass. I have crafting tweaks, so what I can just do is that, and then I'll get a bunch of blocks. And these are the grass bales I was talking about. You can just place these on the ground, and they will dry out after some amount of time. One thing you want to be cautious about with these is that they will start to rot if you leave them out in the rain, so once again, be cautious. Just build like a little roof over them. That's sort of something you want to just do with all GregTech stuff, because chances are, if it's like a machine, it will explode or it'll just break in the rain. So, you know, I guess exercise caution with those things. Just build a roof over your area. Don't be a lazy bones like I usually am, and 90% of the time I'll just not build a house, or I will build walls at least to keep mobs out, but I will not build roofs. And that has led to some problems in the past, even though I'm very well aware of the risks with GregTech. I just sort of, it slips my mind sometimes. Alright, this looks like potentially either black granite or black sand. I'm hoping it's black sand, but it is black granite. That's fine. Reason you want black sand is for iron. It's like the best source of iron besides a villager farm, which is really, really good for iron, obviously, because it's almost infinite. Bauxite, that is aluminum. Definitely want that. That is one of the big gates in the game. You basically can't progress unless you have aluminum. Ooh, red granite, you also definitely want. I'm running out of inventory space here. That is probably black granite. I think black granite and red granite are virtually identical. They're actually quite good. They have a much higher, they have a quality 3 rather, so you can mine essentially anything, including themselves. They are like a tier 3 material, so you can't even mine them without an equivalent tool. They also have like a higher speed and durability than most other rocks. So, you know, these have like 2.5, but quality 1, durability 16. These have quality 3, speed 3, durability 64. So that's a substantial upgrade. The only thing is it can sometimes be a pain in the ass to find enough like little rocks to get them, which it seems like it might be the case now. What you need is actually at least enough to be able to make a hammer, because that will allow you to first mine the material and then smash it again. You'll get the little rocks, so you can kind of get like a renewable, not renewable, but you'll get enough of that material to like keep going, and then you can make a pickaxe. It's more efficient technically to make a pickaxe after you've gotten enough materials to keep making hammers and stuff. But from the beginning, you can just make a hammer and use that to mine the materials and smash it again. Black granite, of course. Okay. Well, what can you do? Is this also black granite? That's really unfortunate. I didn't get enough to get a hammer or anything. You need 6 stones to get a hammer. How many reds do I have? 2, of course. What is this? Basalt? It's not great. What is this? Marble? Kimberlite is okay. It's just sort of annoying, because the only material that you have access to, actually, I want to say steel has a quality of 3, but I don't even think that's true. I think it only has a quality of 2. Steel, let me check. Steel, how do you make that? Steel, that's iron, curved steel. Yep, quality 2. Oh well, I think meteoric, oh, not even that. Okay. Yeah, I'll just have to be hopeful that I will get, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll have to be hopeful that I'll get either more black granite or more red granite, and I probably should have swapped out some of those rocks for some of those other rocks. Oh, I forgot. This is the newer Minecraft version of a boat, so you don't have to worry about crashing. Oh, I'm sure you noticed I did not grab the IC2 rubber tree saplings that I found before, or I just didn't like attack them to get saplings. The reason for that is because there are GregTech rubber saplings that are substantially better. They have, instead of like the little, I don't know what you would call it, like the little thingy on the side that has like a little orange line in it that lets you get the, what is that? Sand? What do I want to switch out for that? Probably not much. I'll just throw out the flint scraps probably. So yeah, anyway, the reason the GregTech ones are better is because instead of having like the IC2 sort of like little rubber slat thing that only lets you get like one rubber, or one tree tap use out of it rather, and then it has to like regenerate, the GregTech ones just have like a hole that you can put a little pouch on made of leather, and that will like continuously siphon sap out in a way, and you can just come by, you right click it, and you'll get like a shit ton of rubber after a while, and it'll just sit there. I think you might even be able to put a hopper under it and then just pipe that into like a barrel or a chest or something. Basically, easy automation. So that's why they're better, and I think they also look nicer. What is this, galena? Do I have galena in my inventory? I really, actually, let me look up how to make a backpack. I really want a backpack from Better Storage. Yeah, that will give me a lot more freedom. And I've toggled that backpack to not take up the chest plate slot because I think that is a stupid mechanic. I made it so that it can just be worn even if you're wearing a chest plate. Get more galena. The reason lead is useful in the beginning, by the way, is to make, I think you can make like lead tools with it, but it's also for the first burning box you can make, You can also make that out of clay, but it's not great if you make it out of clay. It's just a normal rock. Just put that on the ground. Go away, zombie. Some people might get aggravated by the state of my inventory. They'll just tell me to like throw all the rocks on the ground. I'm not gonna do that. I like to hoard things. I don't know why. I have like some kind of, I don't know. My brain just feels good when I keep all this stuff that I find. I will sort it out though. I tried my best to keep a organized area. Oh, this is really good that we found this. Okay, brown clay. Brown clay. All colors of clay are fine. It's just good that I found a big patch of clay because that is how you make the crucible, like I said, I think at the beginning. That's also how you make the stuff that you pour like metals into. It's like the mold material. Is this, I can't tell if this is like dark. Okay, yeah, it's just dark water. I was hoping to find maybe some black sand, but that looks like it may not be the case. Are there any, actually I couldn't even tell if I wanted to. I was trying to see if I could use the mini-map to spot some cows. I don't think there are any in the area, but I think I'm gonna just make a temporary base here for the moment, just to have a place to shove all my items and do that fun stuff. Let me make another axe actually. Where did I put flint? Actually, I could probably just make it out of rock, right? Flint and rocks. Yeah. Whatever. I'll just make it out of regular rock. There we go. Whoops, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make some chests. There we go. And then I will just stick all the rocks in there. I'll stick this garbage, put the ores in, keep the grass, put that in, keep this. Looks good for the most part. Okay. Yeah, I'll plant this tree because it's pretty good. Actually, no, there's spruce trees here. Let me cut down some spruce trees and then I will get mega spruces growing. Those are way, way, way better than, well, almost any other tree, I think. Forest hive. Definitely going to be getting that. I'm not going to be using forestry to exploit for like materials and stuff. I know it's very easy to get those kind of resource bees, like the diamond bees and even like oil bees and stuff. Maybe I'll use oil bees. I don't know. If I don't find an underground oil well, I will maybe use an oil bee if I feel like I don't want to do like biofuel or something. It sort of just depends on what I am in the mood for. Yeah, I try to use my own judgment for sort of on how to respect the balance of whatever mods I'm playing. I try to adhere at least a little bit to the GregTech balance because I think it's usually for a good reason the way things are balanced. Alright. Just sort of picking things up off the ground just to see if there's any valuable materials here. Doesn't look like there's anything too good. Except for the red granite, I definitely am happy to get more of. Hopefully I'll find more. I should actually potentially mark this as red granite just so I can come back and get more. It's not super important. I don't think most materials are anywhere close to quality 3. That's maybe, I don't even think, obsidian might be quality 3, but at the same time it doesn't matter a whole lot because you can cast lava into crucibles or like I think a basin or something. You can get obsidian that way for your nether portals and stuff, so not a huge concern. I actually got enough red granite to get more red granite in the future, so definitely happy there. Let me pick up all these. Perfect. Alright. Get more of this seeds that I want. And then let me start working on a spruce tree. This may take a couple axes, I'm sure. I should have made a couple. After I break this one, I will, or after I finish this. I think, but I can't remember specifically if it will replace with axes in your inventory to complete the cut. I'm almost positive it does, but I could be wrong. And you can see it sort of accumulates the break time of all the blocks in the column, and it adds it to the one that you're trying to break on the bottom. So I'm making progress. It's just taking a long time, and I'm also not using the fastest material in the whole world. So, you know, I will at least get a substantial amount of wood, which is what I really care about. Some other trees that are worth considering are hazelnut trees, because you get hazelnuts out of those. You can turn that into like a juice that you can drink, and I think you can also use that for biofuel at some point. And willow trees are good because they drop a lot of sticks in addition to their saplings and their wood. They don't grow super tall, so I don't really like them a whole lot, and I think I generally get more sticks out of just spruce and stuff by turning the logs into sticks. But you know, if you want to do things a different way, I'm sure maybe it's not the most optimal way for me to do spruce, perhaps, but I feel like it's the best expenditure of my effort in regards to how much I get back. Oh my god, this takes a long time. I'm used to doing this with like steel axes and at least wrought iron axes, but what can you do? You have to use what you got. Soon I will get there, as long as I can find some black sand. I mean, even if I get hematite, I guess I can make iron, but the process of making iron out of hematite is really obnoxious. Alright, let's see how far down I got that tree. Probably... okay. Looks like I got it a decent amount. Couldn't really tell. But you'll see it only broke the bottom block here, but it actually did break the ones at the top. You just really can't see it that well. But hopefully this will allow me to get this entire column down. I might have to get rid of these other columns. These naturally spawning mega spruce trees are kind of annoying because I think they do leave like their branches, I guess you'd call them. I don't really care. I'm not super motivated to go up and destroy those branches. Maybe if I make IC2 scaffolds I can do it, but I'm probably not going to live in this area. I'm just going to use this temporarily, so we'll see. Jeez Louise. After I break this, I might cut this here as the first episode, so to speak, and I'll continue after that. I don't want to occupy anyone's time for too long, and hopefully this has not been too rambly or anything like that. I'm kind of just doing this as a, you know, a fun little thing for myself, just recording as I do a playthrough of GregTech, so hopefully you find it entertaining.